Hey, so if you're tuning in, you probably feel burnt out, you probably feel depressed, you probably feel like a wide mix of emotions, whether it's just like from sadness to anger to all these like pent up frustrations as a result. And I feel you. Whether it's just like in terms of like career related stuff, more interpersonal stuff, just like a wide array of stuff, I understand. It's upsetting, it's frustrating, it's devastating, honestly. And I'm not you. I honestly can't say that I know how you're feeling this particular day, but I hope you feel better soon. But in this video, I hope to touch upon like how I've been dealing with like these pent up emotions all together and how I put them into like more actionable things that I'm able to do so that these emotions, while they weigh me down, that they don't prevent me from like my day-to-day things. So pretty much from the start, I'd say prioritize like your mental health. So broadly speaking, I know that when you say like, oh, just do better in your mental health, like just go for a run, just like talk to friends, just do like all these simple things. I know that that's definitely been thrown around like a million times right now, and that's not what you want to hear. You heard that a million times, or something similar to that. And I'm telling you that even though those have been thrown around so far, like the ball has been kicked around from court to court as to like, oh, just do some exercise, just do these things, and you'll be much better. I recognize that that sounds like really trite advice by now, but I assure you that it definitely helps because it just gives you like this sort of accountability when it comes to things. Because think about it, when you're prepping to go on a run, like when you have like all the gear set up, like you put your running shoes on, you tie your laces, and like you're right about ready to go out the door. Think about it, like your mindset's different, your clothing's different, and you definitely feel different as you're about to go on a new run altogether and hopefully like clear your mind and reflect on things altogether. Or just blast like really emo, just like sad boy music altogether. But what you do is up to you, of course. But this definitely brings me to like next point at least, which is don't associate like your self-worth with just like other people in particular, whether it's in regards to like career related stuff, friend related stuff you see on social media, like the list goes on definitely. Because with social media as a whole, you see that, oh, people can just post like just this highlight reel, of course, like you've heard it a million times here too, just like, oh cool, this person got into a relationship, this person like got this internship, this person got like this really prestigious thing, or like some like insert this really cool achievement that someone got, and it's like good on them, they're free to brag about it, they accomplished this. But don't feel like absolute crap about it, because it's just like you don't know how they are behind the scenes, you don't know how like they are once they like they're not on their phone and they're just in their day-to-day life going about regular things. And that definitely doesn't just only extend to like those people who are just like really highly accomplished and just like have all those things, but just like think about your day-to-day person. They're just like living their everyday life, make their occasional posts on social media, all these different outlets, and like express themselves online, or not entirely. And everybody has a level of comfort when it comes to posting on social media as a whole, and not everybody's going to be comfortable like airing their dirty laundry on it as a result. And honestly, to tie things all back here in terms of like comparison wise, just like don't make it so that someone else's highlight reel is just compared to like you on like one of your very worst days. Because trust me, I've been there, I've done that, I felt like crap. And did I learn anything from it? Well, no and yes. No as in I didn't know that I shouldn't be doing that, but yes in terms of like reflecting, looking back, like I shouldn't have done that. I should have just like been like, oh okay cool, someone did this cool thing altogether, good on them, and then carry on with my day. And not just like express frustration that you couldn't be in their shoes, you couldn't have done that, or you could have, but look at where you are now. Because that thinking pattern is really negative and will definitely eat away at you if it goes unprovoked. And then I definitely say lastly, just like I would emphasize, I cannot emphasize this enough, but I would emphasize journaling, because when it comes down to it, when I journal, it's just me just like putting out like all these pent up frustrations onto just like a notebook, just like journal diary app, or just like something in particular, and just like frustrations and just like any sort of anger, and just like put it on paper, so that in days away where you're just like, oh, what happened like a few days ago? Why was I really upset? Why was I really depressed? Why was I feeling this certain way? You can flip through it, and then you can see that, oh, this day I felt like absolute garbage because of X, Y, and Z. And it doesn't need to just be like pen and paper, notebook here. You can also use like digital apps altogether, in which you're able to track that, oh, I had a streak of some really bad days here and there, and these were reasons why. And then conversely, you can also say that, oh, I had a streak of some really awesome days. I wonder what were like the overall reasons as to why. And then you just go along there and see and track accordingly. So I definitely say that journaling has been a great outlet in terms of like when I'm burnt out altogether, and just seeing that, oh, so these are the reasons you're feeling bad. These are the reasons you feel like trash. And then just moving forward from there and see that, okay, well, if you go and just like do these consistently in terms of like, and they can trigger you to like burn out altogether, maybe avoid doing that or limit your time in terms of doing that altogether. Because for me, it's just checking social media, checking whether it's like LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook at times, and it's just like, well, time spent there can better be just like improving on yourself, resting, doing a bunch of different things. And it's just like, don't just like keep refreshing your feed hoping for like that dopamine hit from like getting likes, getting these things, and just like seeing what everyone else is up to, because you have your own life too. And it's just a matter of like how you go about it, so that you don't face burnout as a whole, in addition to just like carrying on with your everyday life. And I recognize that this has been a really just like pressing like few weeks in terms of like the content I put out, but I assure you that I'm doing well, I'm doing okay, but I just put out these videos as a means of just like venting as a whole, in terms of hoping that this is able to help someone else at the end of the day, because to an extent, I've been in your shoes. I'm just like an anxious college student like anyone else who's just like applying to internships, feeling really stressed about the app cycle. Factor that in with like, well, you know, the nature of the insert word here. And given all those things that are like going ahead with one another, it's really easy to burn out at this very moment. But sure, you just like, please take care of yourself. Please just like prioritize your mental health first and your well-being, and surely the rest will follow through. And that's not a guarantee, but hopefully in the coming days you'll see something. And just take things day by day, honestly, because I don't really know how else to say it, but just take things as they come, even as stressful as they are. This too shall pass, which is what I want to leave you with. This is something that's been sticking with me from like one of my high school years, that even though I don't frequently speak to him anymore, it definitely still rings true to me, because this too shall pass. And I'm saying that because like there's this really thing I'm really stressed about today, but like looking back, am I going to remember this? Is it going to affect me? Is it just like living up in my headspace because I'm giving it like free rent to do so? Think about it, because some things I was really stressed about like years, months, like days before, I look back at it and laugh at it, and I'm just like, wow, I was really upset over that. Why? But I'm not going to go on a tangent any further, but I hope you had some good takeaways from this, and as always, don't forget to be awesome.